When Intel decided to attend this event, an inaugural event, were there some kind of preconceived notions of maybe what I'd expect, or anything surprising you so far that you're like, what, because you've gone to a ton of events, so this one's different, right? The streaming side of it.
Yeah, it is different. My first thought coming into this was going to be like, the shoving, pushing, schedulling people, gamers, that's all I wanted to go do kind of thing. And there's a ton of gamers here, of course, but the tone of TwitchCon seems different in kind of like a major way. It feels like there's a lot more conversations happening. I mean, yeah, people are lining up for games when I see the latest technology and stuff, and you got the LAN Fest going on over there. People lining up, of course, but there's a conversation happening. When I see people engage in the booths here, they want to know what's going on, both directions. Why are you here? What are your interests? Hey, this is what I'm interested in. People taking feedback. There's more of a dialogue and interaction that's going on here that you don't see at bigger gaming events.
I have to give you kudos on your booth location, and maybe we'll try to get some footage later of where Intel's at. You're right next to Broadcaster Alley, so there's like 15 different streamers right there, and 100 deep queue on each of them, and then the line to the event, so it's real, right? These streamers and what's taking place are a real deal. Yeah. When I go by your booth, you guys have a couple of different stories you're talking about. The first one for me is, there's gaming, right? Intel's really well known for the abilities of the processor, the journey within gaming, getting the best quality experience. But then there's also the requirements to stream it and have a stream challenge. So now you have a double need that either is 2 siloed units or a stacked unit. I mean, you're coming up with some solutions to try to address that.
Yeah, so it's what you're seeing us do with like our 6th generation processor. We just launched those. As a matter of fact, at Gamescom, actually went pretty well on the Twitch channel there. We're adding 4 cores and 8 threads. What that means is I got 8 threads, I can do 8 simultaneous things. Gamers don't just do one thing, right? It's either going to be they're talking, they're streaming, they're gaming, they're editing on the side, they're surfing the web, and it's like, puts a crazy load on the platform. So we add more cores and the ability for each core to do more kind of threaded capability, and the frequency is at 4 gigahertz. And if that's not enough, we have overclocked, we have unlocked processors so people can crank it up and go even beyond the base frequency if they want to.
So are these kids, I call them kids, but there's kind of we're all streamers and guys, right?
Yeah.
Are they DIYers, or are they looking for pre-baked systems? I mean, and also Intel, it's not just a processor, right? Solid state, there's a lot of layers into the complexities of your business and you guys, you run a lot of top-line commercials, but the intricacies of Intel and the offerings, is your consumer set, is it really something for everyone, or is it you're trying to say, here's how the ideal purchase, or you're trying to make it more an open platform?
Our products and the technology and the memory and the SSDs and the I/O and everything we put on a platform has got to it as sort of a scaled experience. Not all gamers are created equal. What we've noticed is that the people that are driving gaming the hardest though, and it's gamers and streamers, and go ahead and add VR on top of that, right? Yeah. It just puts a crazy workload on it. Those start at the high end and then become mainstream, and our processors improve over time. So our next generation processors, they can do that workload, so we can take advantage of the next workload. And you asked me about do-it-yourself versus pre-configured or something from our PC manufacturers. It's both. The do-it-yourself guys love to talk about what they do. I don't know if you saw, I mean, I know Kitty's a streamer, right? But she built her own system, right? She's not the typical do-it-yourself person. A lot of people love to do that. I'm seeing the OEMs now, the PC manufacturers are creating gaming rigs that you can't create on your own anymore. You can build a pretty good, solid, basic performing system, but they're adding some pretty cool things to their platforms that make it amazing.
There's almost a stream of how to make the best gear.
Almost,
right?
Almost.
And all the YouTubers and all the stacking of everything that's taking place, it's actually more confident than ever before, right? These kids and these streamers, we all as consumers can figure it out because we can get right there and get into a community and engage on that. So I actually want to talk a little bit about community.
All right.
So in terms of the community that you're embracing, how is Intel actually coming to the game, identifying the community, identifying the relationship? It doesn't sound like this is something new. You guys have been kind of doing it for a while, but I don't know if people really realize how hard you work to really understand community represented in this particular genre.
So yeah, we're part of all the social media conversations, but when you talk about part of that community, Intel Extreme Masters has been, hooked up with ESL, has been around for over 10 years. I mean, we're not posers just coming at the last minute trying to take advantage of an opportunity. We've committed way, way early on, not only in the community aspects, and some of the event aspects, but with our product aspects.
Right.
So I think in 2003 was our first Extreme Edition processor. And then 2010 was unlocked overclock processors for mainstream gamers, right? And content creation guys, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of value here. But we've been committed for over 10 years to community, to products. I think if you look at an event, I think you see Intel everywhere. We're part of our partners, we're part of events, we're part of, sometimes we have our own booths, we have our own social media channels. It's amazing.
We're also talking a little bit about there's community and then there's the individuals within the community. And there's some phenomenal people, right? Have a significant footprint and a big share of voice, but there's always new members coming on board, and knowing where to direct your message or where to share your message, you consciously are kind of looking at both not only the people that are playing the bigger games, right? And you guys, ESL, what is it, Counter-Strike and League are probably some of the big ones you're part of.
Bigger ones.
But then there's, on the show floor here even, there's a ton of indies, right? And there's up and coming. So your partnerships and your engagements, I mean, you really have to think about where the brand's going and be kind of almost a futurist on that.
Yeah, we try not to do it like a one-size-fits-all kind of thing, and that happens not only through what we do, but through what our partners do. You talked a little bit about do-it-yourself. That's not a one-size-fits-all. You even talk about what companies like Alienware are doing or Asus are doing. They don't have a one-size-fits-all gaming rig. And in fact, in many ways, you can customize what you buy, and then after you buy it, you can customize it. In terms of the audience, I mean, that's part of why we're here, right?
Yeah.
You have an audience, I know it's good for your company, but everybody who's here, it's an extension of what they've done, like at least what Intel's done for the past 10 years. We have an audience we can talk to and connect with. I told you the difference here was that it's a connection. We actually have conversations. That tech talk was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I love doing it, right? We have a booth later on, I'm going to be doing the same thing. In our booth, people are asking, what about this rig? How can I get that? What about this software?
Yeah.
And you get the trolls online, but I got to tell you, even when you hear something painful, there's an element to truth to it, and you pay attention.
You do it. I was at a conference last week, or a couple weeks ago, we covered Andy Swanson and some teams from Twitch were speaking about the platform, and they're really trying to liken it, especially in the esports side, to ESPN, right? This idea of your heavy sport, heavy engaged. Brands need to realize this audience has a significant share of voice, a significant footprint. I mean, you've seen some crazy events, right, that are attended by thousands and viewed by millions. So Intel's insight to be able to be on that journey, are you thinking of it almost at times in some of those situations, right along with the fan? I mean, you're almost a fan in the process and not just necessarily a sponsor of the process? I mean, there's some probably crazy moments.
So at some level, gaming used to be this, this niche fringe element game, right? There's like over 1.2 billion gamers, and that's people who call themselves gaming. Everybody games. Used to be a while only certain people would stream.
Yeah.
Everybody streams or has aspiration for it. On the sports side, I think that's almost the best analogy. It's like ESPN, or even you could think about even race car racing. Everybody's got race car racing, tuning their engines.
Yeah.
It creates an aspiration for everybody else to go up and buy their car, and what can I do? Sports creates that aspiration as well, right? You got semi-professional players, you got people playing high school, you got people, people play on the weekend, they want to be like their sports players, right? Because what they're doing is very cool. Same thing's happening here with gaming and streaming.
So, one other area I want to talk quickly about, Frank, thank you by the way. So VR, I see the Samsung VR gear down there, obviously Oculus Rift is being talked about. So,
HTC, another one, a lot of VR gear.
Yeah, a lot of gear. So I'm still getting I'm gaming, MOBA gaming, competitive gaming, then I'm dealing with game capture and streaming, and now I'm going to layer in some VR or AR or some other experiences in there.
Yeah.
What's your pick? I mean, what's the take? What's the appeal? Like, you cannot not be in it, and because it's going to grow and it's going to mature. I think it's going to be something the next generation is going to be talking about.
Yeah. So for me, VR is just a natural extension of the experience you have right now. People, they had one screen, right? Then they had 2 or 3 screens. Then they had high def screens. Now they have 4K screens. Now they got, now they have VR and the ability to go look around, right? This is just an advancement of that experience. And okay, what's past VR? You're going to be wearing a shirt, little sensors in it. You're going to have VR on. Someone's going to tag you from behind. You're going to feel a little buzz, right? I mean, all people want is a more and more immersive experience.
Yep.
One of the things I was interested in thinking about as I thought about VR, people thought, well, you put on VR and it's isolating. It's not isolating at all. You think playing a game is isolating? You're streaming online. You're seeing feeds come in. You're talking to your friends online. You put VR, same thing's going to happen. I I'm trying to imagine the next esports events where it's VR, and you got like screens in a circle around so you can see how people are playing.
Yeah.
They push the envelope on everything, and all of these technologies feed into other markets. You're going to see this in training and healthcare and business, and it bleeds over into everything.
It's a world of all the goggles. It reminds me of like a Woody Allen movie 40 years ago, Sleepers and whatnot.
But that's true even Twitch. It's bleeding into everything, right?
Yeah,
You started with personal videos, you started now gaming's going to be there, business uses it. I mean, it's the way people communicate and share what they're doing, man. There's no way around it.
Boom, boom, boom. Well, I thank you, Frank, for helping us keep ahead of the curve and sharing with us today some stuff at Intel.
Yeah, thanks.
If you guys want to catch up at all, go down and see Frank and their team at Intel down on the first floor.
Thanks.
We'll have this coverage keep going on AList Daily and Ion.co. Thank you guys so much.